Okay, GolfWRX. I am here with Master Fitting Specialist at Titleist, Glenn Mahler. Glenn?
Johnny, nice to have you with us here at the Titleist Performance Institute.
Nice to be here.
We've got a fantastic day, a little warmth here, a little southerly breeze coming out of the southwest, so that's our preferred wind direction, is hitting a little bit into the wind here. So.
Okay, so we're going to do some TS driver and fairway wood fittings for myself. I'm a little nervous.
Nothing to be nervous about here. So a couple things. We were speaking a little bit off camera a minute ago. You were saying of recent you've been having some difficulty in your driver.
Right.
Okay, so not of your swing. Tell me a little bit about what the golf ball's doing that would lead you to form that opinion. So tell me about the flight of the ball.
The flight of the ball, it's starting to get a little higher.
Okay.
It's starting to get a little floatier.
Okay.
And then on another, the other miss would be a hard left, like almost a high hook left.
So basically it's the dispersion, the high right, and kind of the quick hook left.
Right.
Perfect. So if we can maintain and get a little better dispersion pattern, that would be something that would
be amazing.
Perfect. Okay, so what we're going to do now is just gather some baseline conditions with your driver. The shots I want to keep in my sample size are shots you would tell me, hey Glenn, today, if you and I went and played golf, that's a shot I'd hit.
Right.
Okay, good or bad. I want to capture what I call the real Johnny.
Okay.
Great. So anything you extraordinarily miss, we'll delete. But other than that, I want to keep your known and seen misses.
Gotcha.
Okay?
Okay.
All set to go. Okay, golf ball in flight can only create what I call 4 characteristics of flight. Golf ball can only do 4 things. Ball speed or velocity is the speed it leaves the club face.
Right.
Launch angle is the angle it leaves the club face.
Okay.
It creates a certain amount of backspin, and then dispersion left-right.
Okay.
None of those numbers. Club speed here today, right now, you're at 105 miles an hour.
Okay.
So, you know, certainly at your speed, but also with your load, meaning your change of direction, I certainly like you in some form or fashion of extra stiff. So that's where you currently are.
Okay.
So I do believe that that is correct. If you want to hit it straighter, you generally are asking for the golf ball to bring its landing angle down.
Right.
Because the adage on tour, and anybody that has speed, is the straighter you want to hit it, the sooner you want to get the ball to the ground.
Right.
But there's this window you want to play through,
Sure.
again, 32 to 45. So on average, you're at 37. You're hitting up on the ball 4 degrees. So you do have a lot of upward strike on it, and that gives you the launch. It can give you the reduction of spin, but depending on where you hit, like you said, you can increase your spin rates, and also, because you're hitting up so much, you can increase your landing angles.
Gotcha.
So, paramount for us in this fitting for you to become a better player. The more backspin you can put on the ball, if you misdirect the face, especially to the right, the more side spin you're going to put to the right. So we need to manage your spin rates. Players play and fitters fit. So I'm not going to talk about your swing, because we want to fit the equipment to the player. We're not here to teach the player.
Right.
So we want to optimize your spin rate to allow you to play better golf. You define that as getting your dispersion rate, you know,
100%.
Yeah, so we need to get your spin rates down in order to get your curves so they don't curve to the ground. I mean, they don't curve so much to get offline, and get your ball landing angle down a little bit.
Gotcha.
Okay?
Okay.
So let's try some products.
Okay.
We have the TS2, the TS3. So look-wise, just appearance to you.
That one.
TS2.
TS2.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we're going to hit them both.
Okay.
Okay. So I know Stephanie and Josh spoke with you inside this morning.
Yep.
So, you know, one of the things that makes, you know, when you look at the manufacturing landscape, you know, there's a lot of things that we have to stay within the parameter legal, the rules of the game, you know, whether it's the velocity limit or the size limit, but there's things that are more unregulated.
Right.
So the TS2 is very, very forgiving. So thinking back what Stephanie was telling you about what the center of gravity is on this product. So.
Okay. I definitely like the way it looks. That's for sure.
Appearance is very important. You want to be able to set a driver down and just see a good shot happening in advance.
Like that's a little bit off the heel, and that thing
It held in there.
Generally speaking, a longer length shaft can produce more swing speed and more ball speed.
Right.
Generally, I'd say it will generally increase launches.
launch a little bit.
It can, I'm not saying it will, but it can increase dispersion.
Okay.
We haven't seen that with you right now,
Okay.
but it can. But that's why every player needs to be individually fit for their driver to see what optimization they need in ball flight to shoot lower scores.
So this is kind of a test here. Like when I play, typically I have like a tee it lower and kind of a fairway finder.
Tell you what, I'm gonna move you just a little bit over here.
Okay.
You're good. Now you again tee at your height.
This is my little kind of low fairway finder. Let's see what this does for this driver.
I'll tell you what, before you hit that shot, let's just hit a couple just your stock shots, and then we'll go to different shots you want to see. But let's get kind of apples and apples right now.
Okay.
Beautiful. And this is what I've seen in fitting so far with the TS2 driver, is that CG back. I see the stability that really holds that head straight. I mean, I can't remember an instance where I've put it up against another driver so far that I haven't seen a decrease in dispersion since going to this new design that Stephanie and her team have come up with.
Like that was the miss.
Okay.
Okay. That was really missed.
Okay, come on back.
Okay.
Look at what happened before that shot. So again, see in purple, see how we're getting this dispersion pattern coming down and tightening up. So we talked about one of the goals was to bring land dangles down. Now the land dangles are up.
Okay.
Okay. But we've also increased your length. That's allowed for a little more ball speed with really the same club speed, but your ball speed's a little more efficient. So again, that's that head design, that CG being back. You're launching it a little higher, and your spin is the same as you were. However, other than the last shot, we're seeing this dispersion pattern being better, but your land angles are up. So where your peak height was more about 110 feet when they hit pretty straight, now we're up at 126. So that's pretty high up in the window. But it is giving you greater distance. You've picked up, on average, you've picked up 16 yards a carry. So your ball speeds have improved by 4 miles an hour from 156 to 160. So your ball speeds have increased by 4 miles an hour. You've just picked up 16 yards a carry. Now, one thing that all players should be mindful of, distance alone is fun, but you have to control and manage that distance to shoot lower scores. So we got to think about the miss. So thinking about what you talked about earlier about the dispersion, land angle's gone up. So we want to bring land angle down to decrease dispersion. But your carry's gone up by 16 yards, which is a nice thing.
I'll take it.
Yeah. Let's go TS3.
Okay. Don't do it.
You just hit a little. You just hit a little behind that. You just hit a little behind that, and it moved the strike location higher in the face. And when you hit higher in the face, the launch goes up and the spin goes down. That's good. Yep. But pretty nice miss.
I'll take it. It's in the fairway.
You know, even though you lost ball speed, it was one of your longer shots today.
Yeah.
Just because your flight condition improved, you reduced your spin rate. There you go.
Looks pretty well controlled.
You're still carrying it on average 10 yards. This one in white is where you were. That's the average of all yours. Was 10 yards over yours. Your ball speed is
2-3 miles more.
Yeah, 2.8 miles an hour faster.
Okay.
That's the design of the head. Your land angles are still up there, okay, but that tends to be your technique.
Right.
That's okay. I'm not going to focus in on your technique. So again, when you take, we'll temporarily take this this left out, this left shot. So now, if we took that left shot out with yours, now your land angle's increasing up to 40. So again, you're up in the window. Now 259 carry. So even taking out your poor shot,
Still carrying it 8 yards.
yeah, you're still carrying 8 yards.
That's impressive.
How did this shaft feel?
Same thing, like, and I don't know.
Okay.
I wasn't happy about the shaft I was in my old driver.
Okay, so it felt a little softer.
Right.
Okay.
I've always preferred like a
Okay. What have you played in the past that's worked well?
Diamana's.
Which one?
I played the blue for a long time.
Okay. What weight?
It was 60X.
Okay.
So I think the comparison would be like a Tensei Pro TX.
Okay. I went to the whiteboard.
Okay.
Firmer tip section, still at 45 inches. This is a TX.
Okay.
Whiteboard.
Oh, that's
Little Healy.
ball speed still stayed up. So.
Oh God.
Not much curve on it though.
No, I mean it's off the heel, but. All right.
Okay, one more and then we're going to try something else. Nice.
Oh.
Excellent.
Not that high.
Well, here's the thing. Two things. You're always going to hit into the wind here,
Right.
and when you hit into the wind, it creates lift.
Right.
So everything here looks higher than it really is.
Sure, sure.
Because you're hitting into the wind. Number two, you know, anything I give you, you're going to hit high. That's just inherent to your technique
Right.
and your strikes. So I'm doing what I can do to control that, but
I don't mind it. It just it's a.
well, but here's the thing. Come take a look here. You missed your target by 2 feet 0 inches.
I'll take it.
Okay. Your ball speed stayed up still at 160, so it's still higher than yours at a ½ inch shorter.
Right.
Generally, now again, this is worthy of being fit. Every player should be fit. But generally, the shorter the shaft, the more dispersion comes in, and the shorter the shaft, the more land angles come down. Now, in your case, land angles still stayed up at 43, but the spin
Went down.
went down.
Right.
Went down.
Which means the ball's going to go. It's going to carry further.
It's going to, well, because you're up near that 45 threshold, but you're doing it with launch with less spin. You're not getting it to go this way so much, but flying like this.
Right.
And then where the benefit is when you have less spin, when you misdirect the face, less potential of the side spin. But look at the shot that hadn't occurred today. Now you still have got a couple shots to the right, but like you said, those were hit low and in the heel.
Right. I haven't hit one left.
Not
yet.
one shot has gone left
No.
today.
So as a general rule, like just for club fitting, you know, for a club fitting question, in your experience, do most players benefit by getting, like, are you looking to get them for the ball to descend at a flatter angle? Is that?
Not necessarily. Everything in golf, as Stephanie said, is player dependent, and one of the biggest variables in there is ball speed. And so as fitters, we only see three things. We see velocity, we see flight, and we see load being your change of direction. But we don't look at any player that comes before us by age, sex, height, handicap, or weight.
Right.
To everybody, it's just a golfer. We're just going where the evidence tells us to go based upon the flight of the ball and the desires of the player.
Gotcha.
So, in this case, we want to see if going a little shorter will help that dispersion pattern without sacrificing distance.
That was the first one that went left, but it wasn't that hooky ball.
But the nice thing about that is it still stayed up in the air. It wasn't, like you said, when you hooked yours, it was more diving.
Right.
That one stayed up. Spin's going to be a little more reduced. That's 2200. Okay, let me take that back. So after the first few shots today, I'd put this in D1 setting, and D1 is I've taken a little bit of loft off. I've opened the face. So now I'm going to put it in C1. I'm going to flatten the lie a little bit.
Okay.
So generally when a player goes left and player says, I don't want to go that far left, one of the things we'll do is flatten the lie.
Wow, okay.
When I went a little shorter, I added a little more weight to the head because I didn't want the swing weight to get lighter. So I changed the flat weight in here. I put 4 more grams, 2 more swing weights back into it.
I actually prefer the way this sits now.
Nice. That's a great thing. You always want a golf club to look good at address position because it just helps you feel a good shot's getting ready to occur. Blocked, but isn't curved.
No. Like, I'll take that.
That was straight.
I can play that, yeah.
That was pushed.
I will say this, I'm hitting it relatively in the same spot every time.
Mm-hmm.
That's encouraging.
Okay, let's go back to where we were. So you can see it did have some effect there. We put it in a flatter lie and the next 2 golf shots did go to the right.
Right.
Okay.
I actually hit that one pretty solid the last
Yeah, you did. Smash 1.5. But let's get it back where we had it.
Okay. You could be out here all day doing this, couldn't you?
Well, you could, but typically you'll fatigue a little
You
bit.
ran out of gas before.
Right.
And if my TrackMan runs out, I'll go get another one. So. Very good. Very good.
That's like, that's so playable. This is a really forgiving,
Yes.
because that's like, that's thin and heely. Usually that's in the right trees.
That's that stability back there, having that CG back.
All right.
Last one here.
13.
I think we found.
Put that on the corner.
There you go.
Oh, there.
Taking out the miss you had to the right, you were 260, 286, and your spin rate was 2300, but that was with that hook to the left.
Yep.
272, 292. Land angle is still up,
Right.
okay? But that's you and your swing.
Right.
Okay, so we're going to let you handle that. So as a fitter, we want to control the controllables. I'm going to control the things that are within my world of control, things like spin, things like dispersion. Having the different models certainly help a fitter be able to do that, being able to vary the weights, the length of the shafts. Everybody is dependent on a different factor,
right,
on a different characteristic. So, boy, I think we've got you more speed, more distance, with a little shorter length, and we saw the dispersion pattern really come in.
Right.
I'd be happy to recommend that to you and
one?
say you're going to shoot lower scores with this driver in your bag.
Okay. So it's TS2 with a Diamana.
This is the Blue Board 60 TX.
You getting this?
I'll write this down for you.
8.5, so D1 setting, so it's out at about 7.75.
7.75. It's got more mass down there.
Hammer.
Yeah, and that's what's giving you that additional ball speed. Also, for some players, putting more head weight around there helps that lever get around the corner better. Seems to have worked for you because your swing speeds are up a little bit even with it.
I like it. Thank you.
Thanks, Johnny.
Appreciate it.
It's been great.